Hello, everyone. How are we all doing? I'm Axel. This is Eli. Welcome back to Droga 52. And we saw a movie last night, and it was pretty good.
Don't mind us having popcorn.
Yeah, we're eating. What do you think of it? What did you think of the movie?
All right, well,
It was Fantastic Four, by the way, that we watched. In case you couldn't tell of the thumbnail.
okay, so first I took notes while we were watching it. So I have them here. But first, what do you expect going in? Like, how were you feeling going into it?
I was expecting hopefully a good movie, which we got, and I was just, I was expecting, a Marvel movie like similar to Thunderbolts and stuff like that. Like, hey, it's probably just going to be an average movie, but this movie was amazing, fantastic, I would say.
Okay. It's jumping a bit far ahead. Look,
I know.
I didn't have too much expectation. Like I will say that the marketing was everywhere, which is a good thing. It means they were getting their film out there. But having said that, like I do work in a shopping center, so I saw it every day, everywhere. So it was
All at once.
it was getting a little bit on my nerves, but that didn't necessarily mean I was going in with a negative mindset. I was just like, look, going into a movie, let's just see how it goes. So let's start with the negatives.
I don't have too much to say about the negatives, to be honest, but you go first.
Okay, so I will say that again, there wasn't too much that was negative, to be truthful. It was pretty decent. There were like some scenes where things were a little off, but if you were a general like audience member, you wouldn't really pick up on it. It was mainly to do with like some of the special effects and like blending. Some of I guess there was some characters designs, but that was only kind of like when you first start watching. You do get used to it. So overall, like I think they did a pretty good job. I'm sure some people might have a bit more negative to say, like they might say like, oh, certain scenes were drawn out. I will say like there wasn't too much humor. Some of the humor didn't land for me.
It felt organic.
Yeah, like some of it didn't land, but they did a good job with like trying not to push it too hard. But yeah, I mean the comedy, some of it just didn't land with me. But I think they did a decent job with that. That's really all I have to say that at least for me that I could pick up on a first watch. I'm sure if I watched it again, I might see a bit more. But at least at this point, that's all I have to say. So I think that's a good thing that there isn't too much negative to say, but there still is like again something to point out that I just think we're a little off here and there, but it didn't necessarily spoil the film, and especially if you're a general movie watcher, it wouldn't spoil the film. All right, so you want to go first with your positives?
Yeah. Well, let me tell my negatives a bit. I will say I could have used a bit more Ben Grimm. I feel like he wasn't in the movie as much as the other members were. Johnny, I think I don't know. I think he could have had a better wig. That's just me. What else? I was a bit annoyed that they cut John Malkovich out of the movie, even though they showed him in a trailer. I was like, why did they show him and then cut him? Like, what was the reason? Like, surely I don't know. Surely you could have still kept him in there, but yeah.
And again, that's still very minor stuff.
I know, but I could have used a bit more Mole Man. I feel like I kind of forgot about him until like the end of the movie, until like the beginning of the third act. Yeah. What else is there? Yeah, that's pretty much it. To be honest, that's yeah. Shall we go into our positives? You go first.
All right. Well, I have my notes here, so I'm gonna go through them. So I'm just gonna walk through my points. So getting right into it, they present the theme of family. They did a very good job with capturing the sort of 60s vibe. Again, you do see very much so that sort of like retro vibes, especially with the sort of semi like futuristic design they have for the city again, because it's like 60s, but a lot of the vehicles and like buildings, they still have that sort of futuristic vibe, which is very reminiscent of what the 60s had. Again, they had this sort of kind of like what they thought the future would look like. And so they keep this sort of like, oh, it's not exactly the 60s because there's this like modern, like not modern technology, but like futuristic technology, but still very much 60s inspired and 60s sort of themed. They did a really good job with that. Like they knew the time setting they wanted to set it in.
Like they had like flying cars.
Yeah, they knew the setting they wanted to have, and they stuck to it. Interesting start. I think they did a good job at. They knew they didn't want necessarily to focus too much on the origin story, so they did sort of do like this news segment to explain it. Like no news segment, but talk show segment.
Yeah.
So that way, people who might not know the Fantastic Four, forgotten about the Fantastic Four, they get that sort of like context of, oh, this is what happened to them. This is where we are now. Then at the start, I wrote like Johnny is okay, but he's a bit off. I think it was just like some of the focuses on his face.
Yeah, especially with like the lens, like the eye
contact. It wasn't too bad. But sometimes you sort of look at Johnny at the start and it's like, oh, it's a bit off. But it's more so like you get used to it and you look past it.
Yeah.
But what else I had? I said okay humor, which is kind of what I said before. Like the humor's good. It blends in well.
Yeah.
But sometimes it just missed the mark.
Yeah.
Again, it's not a humorous film. Like you're not laughing and they don't try to necessarily make people laugh. People aren't audibly laughing, but you can sort of like enjoy it.
Yeah.
It's very subtle for the most part. I have here, this is me writing down Axel was unsettled by the pregnancy stuff.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Pregnancy freaks me out.
This is personal phobia because I guess. The soundtrack was great. They did a really good job. It was really good what they did. Again, they kept the 60s vibes, but they also were able to then also certain things for mood, and it was just really well blended. The music, so it was a really good soundtrack. It's a soundtrack you could definitely put on, and kind of like listen to for the most part.
Yeah, I thought it was very good.
Good pacing, I said. Like they, again, I guess for example, as Axel said, like I think some things some people might find get rushed, and other things they could have spent a little bit more time on. But pacing overall, they knew where they wanted to focus on, where they didn't, and they did a good job with balancing that out. Things could have been better. That was just me saying like some of the special effects were a little off for me personally, but I know, and again, an average moviegoer is not gonna necessarily care too much, or it's like it's still very visually good. Good character development. Yeah, this film, they definitely are. They're focusing on developing these characters, right? They haven't been in the limelight for a while, and
for 10 years.
The past attempt at that was very poorly done. So the last attempt, So they're really trying to be like, okay, we've got to build these characters up because either people have forgotten about them, people don't know about them. We've got to focus on the characters, which they do. You see the different personalities, you see the sort of different interactions. Like, okay, that's the relationship between these two characters. They do a very good job at that character development and understanding who these characters are. Then great color use, like again, they do a really good job. They know when they want it to be bright, they know when they want it to be a bit dimmer, and especially when they first go to see Galactus, like the
Oh god, it looks so good.
The intense red in scenes, like not overly purple for Galactus' suit and things like that. They did a very good job.
It worked, but
they did a good job with the coloring. Like, yes, initially the bright blue can be a bit off, and that's also where it can seem a bit off.
It stands out.
It stands out, but you kind of get used to it. But everything else, like they did a really, really good job with the color use of color. What else they say? Great design. Yeah, overall, the designs were cool. Like they did a really good job at not only the designs of most of the characters. Like again, it's a little off-putting when you first watch it, but it's just because again we haven't really seen these characters for a while, and they really wanted to kind of go for a bit more of a comic book style.
And it worked. It's like
it worked.
It's one of the most comic booky movies.
Look, it just
this year, or like of all time, especially like. Even this year, it's more comic booky than this other movie that came out.
It just takes a little while to get used to. But you quickly kind of.
You can have this.
No, you can have it.
Okay.
Finish the bowl.
I'm hungry.
So yeah, look, the designs, not just in the characters, but the environment they're in, the world, even the outer space, the gadgets, all of that. They did a very good job.
Herbie, I thought, was really well done. He sounded a lot like a battle droid. And which it makes sense because it's the same guy, the same voice.
Yes, it's design.
Like, Roger.
Design is really cool.
What do you think of Silver Surfer?
Hold up, I'm getting there.
All right.
Okay, Galactus, I said it was good, but I did notice for me personally, at least when we initially see him, his face is a bit off. But again, knowing that behind the scenes they were using a combination of the digital and practical effects, that's why, again, it can feel a bit off because you're seeing this huge like being and it has a very realistic like face.
Yeah.
So it can be initially a bit off-putting, but overall, again, same thing. Most of these things you quickly get used to, and it works. Next. Okay, plot. Yeah, like the plot's good. They know how to keep it simple. Like they clearly wanted to focus on the characters, so the plot's not majorly complicated, right? You have a giant being's gonna eat the world. They have to try and stop him. There's some minor dramas and conflicts and stuff like that in between. And again, character dilemmas, decisions, sacrifice. Again, all these different themes.
Yeah, it's good.
But the major plot line, they keep it simple so they can focus on what they want to focus on, which was really well done. It's like knowing where to put the time when making a film. Like, what are you making the film for? What are you really wanting to focus on? And that's the thing. It's not too action heavy, to be truthful.
Yeah, and you know what? I didn't even notice that.
It's really not too action heavy, but when they do the action, it's okay. It's not the most, oh my goodness, amazing action, but it works in the film. It is still decent to watch. So again, they know where they wanted to put the time and focus for the film. A few themes, like they did good with certain themes they wanted to explore. Like again, family is the one they kind of were marketing a lot, but other things were clearly like trauma, clearly a lot about sacrifice and hard decisions. Like again, they did a very good job. Again, family was the one they were marketing, and it is very obviously the big one of the guys.
Marvel's first family,
but they did a very good job at showing all this complex emotion within the characters. Again, it's not the deepest. There are other movies that go a lot more complicated for emotional, I guess, exploration. But the type of film it is and what we've seen from Marvel, they did a very good job. Like they knew when we're being serious, what topics, what themes they wanted to explore, and showing that through the characters, their facial expressions, the past, and understanding why certain characters are doing the things they do or why they're thinking the things they think. They did a very good job at that. Very much building
I'm looking at your notes, seeing what you're going to talk about next.
Definitely building foundations. This film is clearly a film very similar when Marvel was doing their first few films with like Captain America and Iron Man. They are building the foundations, which has been lacking. We're in this stage for a lot of especially Marvel, not so much DC. DC keeps going in circles currently, but we're talking about Marvel. Marvel has been in a stage where they've used up the big names for the most part. You know, you've had your Captain America, Iron Man, ones that most people can be like, oh yeah, I know that character. And they're entering this one where people have either forgotten the characters or minor characters that people haven't known or don't know unless you read comics, right? They haven't done a good job for a while now at actually being able to build foundations for those characters that don't have an instant, thank you, Axel, that don't have an instant like audience pull. They really have struggled with that. They did a really good job here, right? Knowing that the Fantastic Four have not been in the limelight for a while, you got to reintroduce them. You got to really build those foundations because, again, you can't have a really good building without strong foundations. And they did an amazing job at, again, building the foundations for like the future franchise. I miss them. Johnny towards the end was really good. Like,
Yeah,
again,
I was doubting Joseph Quinn.
I look, I had no opinion on it going in, but they did a good job at, again, showing the multiple layers, and again, I guess actually fleshing Johnny out because previously he's kind of like just been a hothead or a
Chris
ladies'
Evans.
man. Yeah, you
Come
know.
on, I love that version though. Our door just opened. Hold on.
So they did a good job at actually fleshing out his character, showing like, yes, he is still seen as the eligible bachelor, and he still has this reputation of being a ladies' man. And again, you see it through certain like lines and interactions, but overall, being actually able to explore his character and be like, well, no, he's.
I mean,
not
and you
just
know, he
that.
manages to communicate with Silver Surfer, and you know, the others, especially Ben, they just think he just wants to do this.
Oh yeah, I think I want to have sexual relations.
I mean,
Anyway,
yeah, it's true. That's what they were thinking.
Yeah. So overall, look, is it my kind of film that I'm gonna go run back in the cinemas and watch it again?
Yeah, for me it is.
He will. Me, no. But again, that's just because it's personal preference of films. Is it a bad film? Absolutely not. They did a really, really good job. I did. Again, it held my attention. I enjoyed watching it, and sure, I will be glad in the future once it gets released to put it on TV and watch it. But no, for what it is, and after what we've seen previously by Marvel, again, like Thunderbolts was almost like getting there, but it was still holding on to the past. This one, they've definitely moved forward and taken the risk and been like, let's try this and see how it goes. How it goes in the future, maybe we'll get there. We'll talk about that in a bit, but I'll let Axel say what he thought was good.
What I think was good, I thought the whole aesthetic was good. You know, I'm already fallen in love with this universe. I forgot what it's called, but Earth 828 or something.
Yeah,
something like that. Dude, I want to see more of this universe. I don't care about the main MCU anymore. Like, I'm kind of burnt out from it. What else do I like? I thought Vanessa Kirby as Sue Storm was the best part. I think she was the strongest part of that.
Oh, so is it Herbie, the robot?
Yeah.
I'm glad they didn't just use him as like a comedic relief.
Oh yeah, me too.
So many characters, similar designs, similar like premises as Herbie, just get used and abused for comedy. I'm so glad they didn't do that. Like, yeah, he's still a bit of a comic relief, but it's in a
it felt organic.
It's in a very smart way where it's like, oh, he's there and stuff's happening. Yeah, I'll let you. I'll just take you over. You can keep.
What? Okay, fine. All right. What else did I like? You know, at first I did not like the Thing's design in the trailers. Yes, I know it's comic accurate, and like I didn't like how his voice wasn't, you know, like so gravelly or whatever. Like I don't know, it kind of bothered me at first. But then when I watched the movie, I'm like, you know what? I kind of, you know, I actually don't mind it. I could wish we saw more of Ben Grimm. I think that actor, Eben Moss something, I forgot his last name, or like, yeah, I think he was good. And you know what's funny? He's actually been in the MCU before.
Oh really? Who was he?
He was Microchip in Punisher.
Oh, okay. Didn't watch that one. I haven't watched a lot of the
Yeah, I
Marvel
know,
TV
I
stuff.
know. It's like, so I'm like, ooh. But yeah, I thought he was good. I wish we could have saw more with him, and like, I liked how they showed like his, going to that synagogue. I think was it a synagogue?
It probably was.
Yeah, something like that. I liked show not tell. I thought that was good. I was a bit confused. I wasn't confused. I was like, I wish we could have gotten more with him and that lady who's like a teacher at that school. Also, I did like that scene where like, the Ben lifts like the car up and makes the kids cheer. I thought that was very nice. Yeah, all good. Yeah, all good. Yeah, I liked that part, and he's just he wants to be where he grew up, and he cares for the little people, like as in like people. He still feels like an outsider, which I feel like the 2005 movie was. I feel like they did that better, like showing him as an outsider, but like the context is different in this movie because like they're all beloved superheroes, and I don't know exactly. I'm a bit confused why they didn't use Alicia Masters, is that her name? Like who Ben Grimm dates and marries in the comics. She's blind. They even mention her father, like Puppet Master. Like I think that's her father. In the beginning, like where Reed mentions the wizard, Puppet Master, and I think what's the name? Diablo. I thought that was like great world building. I was like, oh cool, we're getting these villains. Like, oh, and also Mole Man. I was like, with Mole Man, I feel like he could have been a bit more, I don't know, disfigured or something, but I don't know. I did not mind him. I thought he was good. And what else? And he actually was useful in the end, like how like everyone in the city was like evacuated to the underground, which is this is like the second time this month a superhero movie has a city evacuate. I don't know, but Silver Surfer, I thought she was really good. I was like a bit hesitant. I was like, yeah, I know she's actually a character in the comics. So I was like, why'd they do the female version though? But then like once I watched the movie, I completely understand why they went that direction. Spider Jerk 2000 says, "Hey Axel, off topic, but did you see the new episode of South Park?
Which one?
The premiere of season 27. Yeah, I did. I don't think the show's really for me. That season. I love the show, but I mean, I just don't think that episode was specifically for me. I hope that season gets better, but yeah. Shit, we're talking about Fantastic Four.
You got a topic?
Yeah, I know, right? It's just, oh my god. Fuck. What was I gonna say?
What were you on?
Silver Surfer. I completely understand why they went that direction.
Yeah, like they clearly were wanting to show again someone who made the decision to accept the deal and who made the sacrifice versus someone who is wanting to fight instead of just taking, again, whether you want to call it easy way out, either way it's a lose-lose situation, but someone who's not willing to accept the sacrifice and is like, no, I'm going to fight instead. It's to show that sort of contrast of between the two characters, and by having them both be mothers, again, it's showing they're both very similar in situations, except one is again not wanting to accept the deal with Galactus, whereas the other did, and also by showing again the one who did through I guess when the Johnny plays all the different recordings and stuff like that. It's not saying like, do you really believe your decision was worth it and things like that?
What's up, Walkie and
So I think by having it,
James Apple? Hey, how you doing? Yeah,
I
sorry,
think
go
by
on.
having that character, the way like the direction they went, it definitely serves a purpose, and they did a good job with that. It wasn't just like, oh, we're just gonna make it a female character, for the sake of it. They really actually had meaning to it, which is nice to see. Like a lot of times they change characters whichever which way they want to without even having an explanation of why. And
Make it work.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
like it's
make it
really
work.
frustrating when it doesn't work and it feels really pointless.
Yeah.
But in this one, they really did a good job. Like they were making decisions and meaningful decisions, which really does help make a good film. It makes interesting characters, and yeah.
Yeah.
Alright.
What did you think of Pedro Pascal as Mr. Fantastic?
Look, he did a good job.
Yeah, he did
Like
great.
he's a decent actor, right?
Yeah, he's
There's no
great.
doubt about it. He did a good job. Again, I do think he looks like the traditional Mr. Fantastic necessarily in terms of his facial shape.
Yeah.
But I think they work really getting him. One, he was a good actor, and two, he does bring a bit of a stage name there. But he did a good job as the
I thought
character.
he did great.
Again, just because he might not look exactly what you thought
Yeah.
Mr. Fantastic, usually looks like, it doesn't mean he didn't do a good job with it.
My only just one critique was you couldn't have shaved the mustache off. And I know I said recently, like Pedro Pascal doesn't like shaving his mustache because like he did for Wonder Woman 84. And he just hated that. And I'm like, okay.
Wait, was he the villain in that one?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that did not. No,
Yeah,
keep the mustache.
That was like before. That was like when he was becoming really big. That was like after
Yeah.
That was like after Mandalorian season 2. He's becoming a big star. He's like, and yeah, I get that people, I like when he was cast, I was like, I don't see it. I just feel like they're just getting a big name. But like after watching this, I'm like, I think he was really good as
Well, that's menacing.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, they did.
He
They
was
again,
menacing.
they used the music well. They made the atmosphere well. They also made him big enough to where you were like, "Oh my goodness, this is such a big threat," but not so big to the point where you can't actually work with the size.
Yeah.
So they did.
Like
a good
he
job.
looked like he was made out of the Death Star. Like that's how fucking big he was. He was fucking huge, and that's
No, they did a good job with scale, character design, and especially using the music, because music can really help set the mood.
Yeah. What? Yeah, I thought Michael Giacchino, who's the composer, I thought he does really well. He does. I mean, hot take. I think he does do a lot of. I think his music is kind of a bit mediocre. Like I love his Incredibles theme. Oh wow, he does Incredibles and Fantastic Four. Okay,
That makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. Imagine if he just reused that. But like, I like his shit. What else did he do? I liked his Rogue One. I like his Up theme. But like his Spider-Man stuff and like just a lot of stuff. But his Spider-Man stuff I wasn't really too big on. But I thought it worked. It had a 60s vibe to it.
And again, they also do with the music, they definitely add a lot of this I'm trying to think of the word. It's not quite tech, but there was a lot of this sort of synthetic noise they would add in, which is a very interesting decision, but knowing how to use it to sort of, again, it's that combination of mixing that futuristic feel with the retro style, if you will. And he did a really good job with that. And again, also making music that would be then used to create the moods of certain scenes, which was done really well.
Yeah, that was done really, really good. And yeah. What are we talking about? Yeah, you keep going. I gotta do something.
think again, and it's hard to say because like it's hard to say because it is a very simplistic film to a certain degree. So it's again mostly focused on building foundations, keeping it very simple. But yeah, again, so there's not much to talk about necessarily, but there is also like, I guess, no, I don't know how to explain it, but yeah, they keep it to what they wanted it to be, and that is a simple film designed to build characters and character relations. And I really appreciate that they didn't just throw Doctor Doom in there.
yeah.
I know they're clearly saving him for Avengers Doomsday. Which I'm a little over the place for.
Yeah, we can talk about that later.
Yeah, but I'm glad that they kind of, even though they mentioned a lot of villains and stuff like that.
Yeah, I thought that was cool. It's
I'm glad they kept him out of the picture until that sort of like
that
promotes like post credit kind of.
like mid credits.
Yeah.
Oh, we didn't stick around for this. Was there for people in the chat who have seen the movie? Was there another post credit scene?
I can't keep track of. Like again, I think personally, you have one like at the end of the movie, and if you wanted to, at the end of the credits. But you know, sometimes there are so many post credit scenes that it's like it becomes hard to track and easy to miss.
Yeah.
But I'm glad they didn't really bring him into the picture until one of the post credit scenes.
And we didn't even see his face.
Yeah, which is I think a very.
I mean, we saw what
choice.
we saw what his mask was going to look like.
Yeah.
If they're going to stick
Look,
with
I
that,
think it's a very good choice, even though you're mentioning different villains and different stuff like that. I'm glad they would just like, okay, focus on Galactus, and they did.
Yeah.
Yeah, but again, it's a good movie. As I said, it's not going to be for everyone. As I said, me,
you know what? Like the first time, this movie reminded me of the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies, where it felt like a comic book brought to life, and also like New York itself felt like a character of its own. Like the civilians mattered, like their voices were heard. Like you had people on the street who knew who, like, you know, like I just love like the part where like Ben is he's just out on the streets and he's just saying hi to people. Like, yeah, I wish we could have gotten more of that, but you know,
look, I think what they did is they knew, as I said, they knew what they wanted to do. They knew, again, how to balance out the film. And I really hope, because they've made a good foundation. Like, there's a lot
future foundation is...
There is a lot here for them to work with. I'm just hoping that they don't go messing it up for the next film that is supposedly going to appear in.
And you know what? I want to see more of this universe. I want to see other versions of heroes.
Like I think these kind of films where they're actually, even if they're not set in the main timeline or whatever, I think, again, as I said before, that character building has been very, very much so lost. And I feel like some potentially really good characters have been just fucked over because they were so focused on, we've got to make something. And instead of actually being like, well, we can make something, but let's make it right.
Yeah.
A bunch of TV shows have ruined like so many potentially good characters. But this one, they seem to be like, okay, we've got to try this time.
Yeah. You know what? Matt Shakman, the director of this movie, I think he deserves the Marvel Universe. Look, this may be recent bias or something. I don't know. I thought this movie was excellent. Matt Shakman, if you're watching, which you're probably not, you're probably working on hopefully a sequel that includes so much good shit. I want to say thank you, and I hope to see more of your work. And I want to see more heroes in this universe. Like, give us Spider-Man. like a version of Spider-Man because he's like an honorary Fantastic Four member. Give us She-Hulk, your favorite show, Eli.
I like the character. I hate the show.
Yeah. Give us a version of Black Panther, a different version of the Inhumans. What else? Namor. Oh, I mean, they are going to meet in Doomsday. Is Namor and the Fantastic Four will probably meet, but yeah, I want to see more of this universe. And my God, give us another Iron Man. And you know who I have a fan cast for? David Cornsweet as Iron Man. That'd be the funniest thing ever. They have the opportunity to do the funniest thing ever, and I think it would work.
So let's head into a little bit of we're not going to spend too much on it, but let's talk about future discussions. So what fears, hopes, feelings, considering we've seen
Oh yeah, by the way, I forgot to mention Giganta, where they fight hold on, let me get an image up. Let me get an image up of Giganto. Fuck, I'm trying to find a good quality image.
He almost looks like the creature of the Black Lagoon.
Yeah, I know, right? Hey, what's up, Lord?
That poor guy gets
what's up, Lord Mask? All right, let me get this. Oh, whoops. Hold up, Gigantic. There's a scene where they recreate this shot. I mean, there was a pizza ad or something that had this, but still, that was so cool. And you know what? This worked more than the kaiju worked in the other movie we saw.
Look, we're trying to keep that out of our mouths.
Yeah,
that's in the past, and
we're
not here to cause issues. Okay, we're trying to avoid that.
Yeah, I know. We can't. Yeah, we can't.
We have no need for it. There is no need for it. So let's just not get into it. Okay.
Just finished the 4th page of a new comic I'm working on about to post. Oh, cool.
Oh, nice.
What's the comic about? Let us know. Sounds cool. But
okay, so future thoughts. Look, because we've already seen 2 films that contain post-credit scenes building up towards Doomsday, which everyone knows that's kind of a big one they kind of focus on.
Oh yeah, we got wait, we got to talk about Franklin Richards. I don't think we mentioned him. People said people said that it looked fake, but I was like, okay, maybe in some scenes.
Look,
hey, it's not as bad as the fucking baby in Twilight.
Look, overall, babies are tricky. In films, babies are tricky. You have 2 options. Some shots and stuff like that, you can use real babies. In others, your options are practical, which is animatronics, or
that'd be so creepy.
Or using CGI. Now, look, yes, it looks a bit off in some scenes because it doesn't look quite organic like a baby, which again is really hard to do. But overall, for the task at hand, they did a decent job. Again, is it off-putting? A little, but is it as bad as the history of terrible, terrifying babies? No. It's just a little off. And again, they did a good job for what they had because again, babies are tricky. Babies are really, really tricky.
Yeah, tricky.
Okay. And again, you're fighting the human eye. The human eye can pick up things that just look off sometimes.
Where everyone thinks they're a CGI expert these days, or a VFX expert these days. I mean,
no, again, the human eye. It's very hard to fool the human eye, and
especially this one.
Look, human eyes will pick up things if something looks off, and that's how we have uncanny effects, because making something look believable to us, especially things that we see from everyday life, it is very hard. Humans are very complicated and they can pick up on a lot of things. So for what they had trying to trick the human eye, they did a decent job. Again, it is very hard to make something look like really, really realistic and believable. So look, done better, sure, but they did a good job of what they had, and it's nowhere near as bad as like or any of the history, as I said, terrifying baby. Will you stop?
Okay, sorry. It's just I'm stalling. I don't want to get to the future.
Well, let's get there.
I,
We'll go and then go back to the future.
we got to go back to the future.
All right. So look, we've seen 2 films already, kind of like at least that I've
Oh,
seen.
wait, you said Back to the Future?
He said it! He said it!
Okay, look, I've seen 2 films. I'm sure there might be other things they've already like put out there, but I don't know. I'm not excited for it, but I'm just
I'm not excited, but I'm keen, but I'm also not keen.
am I going to go watch it? Probably, unless it starts to look really, really bad. But I would probably see it in cinemas.
Evening, everybody. Just saw FF today. Really liked it. Oh, that's good. That's good. A couple of brickheads. Nice. Yeah. I really loved it.
Look, so am I like so thrilled, so hyped? No, I'm on the air of caution. Like,
Oh, I'm cautious too. Like,
it's hard because we know, like, okay, we know the Fantastic Four end up in the main timeline somehow. We know that clearly Doctor Doom's going to be the big bad guy because it's named Doomsday. But how they put everything together, also, I think they had that video with all the cast, and we know that some older characters they're bringing back. So there's a lot that's going to happen and a lot that's going to go on. I think they just got to be getting a really good team behind them to make it. And again, we don't know a lot yet.
I don't think people making it even know.
Well, yeah, they're still in very early stages, but I think they're trying to currently really build the hype because, again, a lot of superhero films have struggled. And that's why I think they're putting Doomsday everywhere because they're trying to build up the suspense.
When you say Doomsday, I'm just thinking of the Superman film.
I know.
It's like, why'd they name it Doomsday? It just reminds me of fucking. Just reminds me of him.
Look, I think they're just trying to build it up early. Because they want to try and get as many people to go see that because they're clearly gonna put a lot into it.
We already know that they're gonna get the Guardians treatment like an Endgame, which some of it was fine. Oh yeah, me too. I want to. Yeah, give it to me.
But right now with the limited information we have, I think it's just a waiting game. And I think it's hard to say. It's hard to say.
It is hard to say.
It would be nice if they don't go fucking it up. And it would be nice to see more of the Fantastic Four in their own universe.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just.
But
part of me also just wishes that this Fantastic Four was introduced years ago. I know with the rights stuff with Fox and Disney, I know that, but still.
Yeah. Look, I think we're currently in an environment which is quite hard. Like, we've had superhero stuff come out, but nothing has been really that great. And I think this is like a good step in the right direction, but also it's like an air of caution because it's hard that you don't want them to fall in the same trap as they did, where it's this thing that kind of like with Endgame, where they build it, and then it seems like they had nowhere to go.
Yeah.
And we're kind of stumbling around and throwing things, and so they seem to be slowly getting back on the right track. But I hope they don't fall into that trap again, where they're just like build,
I'm
and
kind of worried that they are though. It's like
stuck with nothing again.
The writing's on the wall though that they're gonna kind of fuck it up. Like, I don't know. I want to get to know this. Hey, what's up? I hope Johnny's hair looks more like the promos. Yeah, the wig bothered the fuck out of me in this movie. I'm sorry.
Look, it's
yeah.
it's not the worst wig I've seen. There have been some really bad wigs in films. It's fine, but I think they could have done a better job. It's
not
yeah.
good. It's not a good wig. Yeah, I want to be in this universe more. Like, also, is it? I don't know if I was there like a. It looked like there was like a Jack Kirby lookalike cameo,
I don't.
like where
I
they're
can't
like in an
remember.
office and they're like artwork in like the background and stuff. I don't know. It looked pretty. I don't know. I felt like it might have been a homage. Or, I don't know. Nice reference, but that's just me. Yeah. What else? What else is there? What do you steam?
I don't know.
Do you think we'll see Silver Surfer again?
I don't know. Look, I think they've left it open enough that if they want to bring back the character, they can.
Mm-hmm.
But
And if they're gonna, and heck, if they introduce like the male version, just bring back Lawrence Fishburne and Doug Walker. No, not Doug Walker. Fuck. Doug Jones. Doug Walker's the fucking nostalgia critic. Doug Jones.
yeah, look, I think they left things open that and again, I think in the past they've been so hung up on tying all the strings together that it's kind of been a detriment. Whereas I think leaving more things open is kind of going to play into their advantage, and I hope they realize this more than anything. And hopefully that prevents this huge issue we had before where they build up and have nowhere to go. Leaving open ends will allow them to still do this big build up, but also have places to branch out to, and also opportunities to bring things back. So is it a little open ended? Yes, but it could also be very closed, like, oh, that's the end of it. Or it's like, okay, it's closed now, but we have the ability to reopen that book. It's not just locked or glued shut. I don't know whether they're going to bring it back, the characters that like Galactus. I don't know. I don't know about Silver Surfer, but I think it could end here, or they do have the opportunity to bring them back if they so wish to. Anything else? Do you want to say? I don't know. I'm running out of ideas. I think I've. What about you, Axel?
I want to watch this movie again.
He does. All right. Well, what would you? What are you doing?
No, what?
What would you rate it out of 10?
I want to rate it out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
Shit. What would I rate out of 10? I think I'd give it like an 8 out of 10. Not a 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
You know, but this is my honest reaction. I want to watch it again right now. Not right now. I don't know, sometime.
For me personally, and again, this is coming down to one, how good it was in terms of like filmmaking. Two, if I were to say for me personally, because of my film taste and stuff like that, I would probably give it a 7. In terms of rewatchability for myself. But if I was to take my own opinions out of it, of like what I prefer in films, I would say for general audiences, I would highly recommend it, and it'll probably be around the 8. If someone was like, oh, I want to go see a superhero film, what should I go watch? I would say, look, Fantastic Four. Again, they did a good job, and it is a good film. Yeah, so definitely for general audience and audiences of like recommendation, yeah, I would say 8. Myself, 7, but that's just personal preference. And personally, as I said, rewatchability for myself and enjoyability for myself. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything else you wish to add?
What do I wish to add? Now it's a good movie. Good movie. I think the best movie of July, and And
I hope it does well. Like it.
oh, I think it's gonna do well.
Like it has been. It is kind of released in a little tricky time for us because holidays have just ended. So I'm hoping for again. I don't know how it's going to do worldwide, but at least here, I hope it can still get the audience attention it deserves.
It's going to.
Even though we are outside the school holidays, which is kind of like the
We
kind
don't.
of
Even, we
peak
don't
time to
even
do
go
that.
to school.
I don't know, but I'm saying for like kids and stuff and families,
Yeah, true.
usually holidays will make more money because again, there's time and people have stuff they want to do or want to go out and do something. But in terms of they're in a rough time for the fact they've missed out that audience, and it will be a bit tricky. But hopefully, weekends and things like that, they can really get the views up and the box office up because it really is a good film.
It is
and I
really good.
hope by showing its success, Marvel can maybe take a step back and fingers crossed make a real difference, make a change.
They should take their first step to a brighter future. Because things have been grim for them for like a few years now. And, you know, I think it's good that that this movie, like,
Have you had enough of the puns?
oh yeah, I mean, this like, I mean, their movies haven't been fantastic for a while, so
I said no. He's been repeating that nonstop since we watched it.
what?
So that one line.
What line? One line.
Grim Fantastic Four.
Say that again.
That's one thing I hope dies down. Is the broken record.
Even a broken record is right. Wait, no, it's a.
That's a clock, not a record. The record just plays on repeat.
I know. Yeah. Hey, Johnny had some records.
And they're always repeating themselves.
Yeah.
Okay.
But,
Well, I have nothing else to add.
I've got nothing else to add too. We are on 52 minutes. Thank you everyone who watched. Yeah, go watch.
It's not as long as our previous one.
Yeah,
but
what was our previous one? What was our previous one? What movie was that? It wasn't so super, was it?
No, we do not. We said we wouldn't talk about it.
All right.
Look, we're keeping it nice. It's long, but not too long. We said all we have to say, and I hope. Look, if you haven't seen it, you should really go see it.
Yeah, go see it. Go see it with your family if you have one. And what? Some people don't have families.
I know.
What are you laughing at?
No, saying it like that. I'm like,
oh, some people don't have families. I'm being honest. But yeah,
just go see it.
Yeah, just go see it. Thank you everyone who watched, and I'll see you all later. Oh shit, we're on 53 minutes. Fuck.
That's okay.
All right, see ya. Bye.